Numbers have always fascinated me, especially the ones that don't add up. Like the $5,000 missing from our joint account, or the 3 nights a week Ryan claims he's working late, or the 2 wedding rings I'm staring at on our bedroom dresser. One his, one mine. Only mine is where it should be. I'm Fiona, and I used to write code that made numbers dance. Now I'm just trying to make sense of the ones that keep slapping me in the face. The bank statement trembles in my hands as I scroll through the transactions on my phone. Another withdrawal, this time for $3,500. No note, no explanation, just money vanishing like morning mist. The kind of money that could pay our mortgage for 2 months. Ryan, I call out, my voice steadier than I feel. Can you come here for a minute? His footsteps echo down the hallway, each one matching my quickening pulse. He appears in the doorway, laptop tucked under one arm, that familiar half-smile playing on his lips. The smile that used to make me feel safe. Now it just makes me feel stupid. What's up, honey? I'm in the middle of something important. So am I. I turn my phone screen toward him. Want to explain these withdrawals? The smile doesn't falter, but something shifts behind his eyes. Just some business expenses. You know how it is with the new project. No, Ryan, I don't know how it is, because you never tell me anything anymore. He sets his laptop down with deliberate care. Look, I know you're used to understanding everything, Miss Software Engineer, but some things in business are complicated. Former software engineer, I correct him. The old wound's still raw. And basic math isn't complicated. 5,000 here, 3,500 there. That's our savings disappearing. Jesus, Fiona. He runs a hand through his hair, exasperation creeping into his voice. This is exactly why I don't tell you everything. You're just a housewife now. You wouldn't understand the pressures I'm under. The words hit like a physical blow. Just a housewife. 3 years ago, I was leading development teams. Now I'm just a housewife who apparently can't understand basic business concepts. Try me, I challenge him, standing up. Explain it to the housewife who used to debug systems you couldn't even comprehend. Don't start this again. He reaches for his laptop. I have a meeting with Mark in 20 minutes. We can discuss this later. With Mark at 8:30 in the evening? Yes, with Mark. His tone sharpens. Some of us still have careers to maintain. He turns to leave, but I'm not finished. Does Grace know about these late meetings? Ryan freezes, his back to me. For just a moment, I see his shoulders tense. Then he laughs, but it sounds hollow. Mark's wife. What does she have to do with anything? I don't know, Ryan. You tell me. He spins around, and now the smile is gone completely. You know what? I don't have time for your paranoid accusations. When you're ready to act like an adult, we can talk about the finances. The door slams behind him, leaving me alone with the numbers that don't add up and the questions that won't go away. I pick up his wedding ring from the dresser, feeling its weight in my palm. He claims he takes it off to wash his hands, but it's been happening more frequently lately. My phone buzzes. A text from Olivia. Coffee tomorrow. We need to talk. I text back a quick yes before opening my laptop. It's been a while since I've done any serious coding, but some skills never leave you, like tracking digital footprints, or following money trails, or piecing together patterns that others try to hide. Ryan thinks I'm just a housewife who wouldn't understand. He's about to learn how dangerous underestimating someone can be. The coffee shop bustles with morning regulars, but Olivia's face draws my attention like a beacon of worry. She's already ordered my usual black coffee, no sugar, and her fingers drum an anxious rhythm on the ceramic mug. You look like hell, she says, as I slide into the booth. Thanks. I feel worse. I wrap my hands around the warm cup, anchoring myself. Ryan's mother is coming over for dinner tonight. Apparently, she needs to discuss my concerning behavior with both of us. Olivia's eyebrows shoot up. Emily's involved now. That's rich, considering she can't balance her own checkbook without Ryan's help. She called this morning, said she's worried about my accusations and how they might affect Ryan's career. The coffee burns my throat, but I welcome the pain. Funny how she's more concerned about his career than our marriage. Have you shown her the bank statements? Ryan got to her first, told her I'm becoming paranoid, unstable. I let out a bitter laugh. Apparently, giving up my career has left me with too much time to imagine things. A text notification lights up my phone. Emily, bringing that lovely pot roast you used to love. We'll sort this all out tonight, dear. Olivia leans forward, her voice dropping. Listen, there's something else you should know. I saw Ryan yesterday at Meridian Plaza. My stomach clenches. The luxury apartments? He was with a woman, blonde, expensive clothes, around our age. Olivia hesitates. They looked comfortable together. The description matches Grace Turner perfectly. I've met her twice at company functions, watched her laugh at Ryan's jokes with practiced elegance. Did they see you? No, they were too absorbed in each other. Olivia reaches across the table, squeezing my hand. Fee, you need to protect yourself. Start gathering evidence, documenting everything. I already am. I pull out my laptop, typing rapidly. Remember that tracking app I developed at my old company? I modified it last night. Ryan's phone is already sending me location data. Olivia's eyes widen. Is that legal? It's our shared family plan. His phone is technically joint property. The screen fills with data points, each one a digital breadcrumb. Look at this pattern. Every Tuesday and Thursday, 2-hour stops at Meridian Plaza. The same times he's supposedly meeting with Mark. Exactly. I close the laptop, my mind racing. But Mark's usually at the downtown office on Thursdays. I checked his public calendar. The bell above the coffee shop door chimes, and Emily Carter walks in, her perfectly coiffed hair and pressed outfit, a stark contrast to my hastily thrown-together appearance. She spots us immediately, her practiced smile never reaching her eyes. Fiona, dear, what a lovely surprise. She glides over, ignoring Olivia completely. I was just shopping for tonight's dinner. You are still planning to be there, aren't you? Wouldn't miss it, I reply, matching her tone. Ryan's so busy lately. It's rare to have him home for dinner. Something flickers across Emily's face. Doubt, concern. But it's gone in an instant. Yes, well, success requires sacrifice. You understood that when you married him. She pats my shoulder condescendingly. 6:30 sharp, dear, we have so much to discuss. After she leaves, Olivia lets out a low whistle. That woman could freeze hell with a smile. She's always been Team Ryan. I start packing up my laptop. But maybe that's exactly what I need tonight. What are you planning? Emily prides herself on appearances, on her perfect family image. I stand, shouldering my bag. Let's see how she handles it when that image cracks. Fee, be careful. Ryan's got her wrapped around his finger. Maybe, I smile, thinking of the data quietly collecting on my laptop. But even perfect sons make mistakes, and I'm done being the unstable wife who imagines things. Walking home, I check my phone again. Ryan's location blinks steadily at his office, but a quick check of his credit card shows a lunch charge at a restaurant near Meridian Plaza. More numbers that don't add up, more lies piling up like kindling. Tonight, at dinner, I'll strike the first match. Emily wants to discuss my concerning behavior. Fine, let's discuss everything. Every withdrawal, every late meeting, every missing hour. Let's see how many cracks appear in the perfect family facade when the truth starts seeping through. Emily's pot roast sits untouched on my plate, while Ryan regales us with another story about his latest project's success. His mother beams, hanging on every word. But I'm watching his hands. The way his right index finger keeps tapping the stem of his wine glass. A tell he's had since I first met him. And Mark was so impressed with the presentation. He's considering me for the Singapore expansion. Ryan raises his glass. To new beginnings. Singapore? The word drops like a stone in my stomach. You never mentioned Singapore before. Emily jumps in. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? Such an opportunity for advancement. My phone buzzes quietly in my lap. A notification from my tracking app. Grace Turner's Instagram just tagged a new location, Meridian Plaza. I take a slow sip of wine, letting the pieces click into place. Speaking of Mark, I say carefully. How's Grace doing? I heard she's been quite busy lately. Ryan's finger freezes mid-tap. I wouldn't know. Mark handles most of her social engagements. Really? Because I heard she's taken quite an interest in real estate, particularly in Meridian Plaza. The silence that follows is absolute. Emily looks between us, confusion creasing her perfectly maintained facade. Meridian Plaza. Isn't that where that horrible divorce scandal happened last year? The CEO and his secretary. Mother, Ryan warns, but I'm already pulling out my phone. Funny you should mention scandals, Emily. Would you like to see some interesting financial records? I slide my phone across the table. These withdrawals coincide perfectly with the rental payments for Unit 1504 at Meridian Plaza, the same unit Grace visits every Tuesday and Thursday. Emily's face drains of color as she scrolls through the transactions. Ryan, darling, there must be some mistake. There's no mistake. I stand up, my chair scraping against the floor. Your perfect son has been using our savings to fund his affair with his boss's wife. Would you like to see the location data too? Or the credit card statements from all those business dinners? Ryan slams his hand on the table, making the plates jump. That's enough. Mother, Fiona's been unstable lately. She's imagining. Imagining what? I cut him off. The lipstick on your collar last week? The mysterious calls you take in the garage? Or maybe I imagined Grace's car leaving Meridian Plaza 10 minutes after you every Thursday. Emily's hands shake as she sets down my phone. Ryan, please tell me this isn't true. Of course it's not true, but his voice cracks. That familiar tell when he's lying. She's trying to destroy everything I've built because she's jealous of my success. I laugh, and the sound surprises even me. Sharp and cold as broken glass. Success? Is that what you call embezzling company funds to keep your mistress in a luxury apartment? You bitch. Ryan stands, looming over me. You think you're so clever with your little tracking apps and investigations. You're nothing but a washed-up programmer playing detective. Ryan, Emily gasps, but I hold up my hand. No, let him finish. Let him explain to you why he's been stealing from our accounts. Let him tell you about the Singapore position. The one Mark doesn't actually know about yet, because it's just an escape plan with Grace. My phone buzzes again. This time it's a text from Olivia. Mark's on his way. Grace confessed everything. Ryan must see something change in my expression because he grabs his keys. This is ridiculous. I don't have to listen to these accusations. Running to Grace? I call after him. Better hurry. Mark should be there any minute. He freezes in the doorway, and for the first time, I see real fear in his eyes. Emily stands shakily, her perfect world crumbling around her. I trusted you, I say quietly. We both did. But you forgot something important, Ryan. You forgot that before I was your wife, before I was just a housewife, I was the person who designed the security systems you thought you could outsmart. The sound of a car pulling into our driveway makes Ryan flinch. Through the window, I see Mark Turner stepping out, his face set in stone. You wanted new beginnings. I pick up my wine glass, raising it in a mock toast. Well, here they come. The front doorbell rings, and 3 years of lies begin their final unraveling. Emily sinks back into her chair, her pot roast growing cold, while I stand ready to watch everything burn. Sometimes, revenge doesn't need to be served cold. Sometimes, it just needs perfect timing. The aftermath of dinner spreads through our house like a toxic cloud. Mark and Ryan's shouting match in the study has devolved into tense silence, while Emily sits in the living room, mechanically folding and refolding her napkin. I stand in the kitchen, washing dishes that don't need washing, listening to the tick of the clock on the wall. The front door opens and closes. Grace's heels click across the hardwood floor. I recognize her walk now, after all those surveillance videos. She pauses in the kitchen doorway, her designer outfit slightly disheveled, mascara smudged beneath her eyes. He said you were unstable, she says quietly. That you were imagining things because you couldn't handle losing your career. I place another clean plate in the drying rack. Funny how he uses the same lies for everyone. I didn't know about the money. Grace steps closer, her perfume mingling with the dish soap. He told me the apartment was from his bonus. There was no bonus. I turn off the water, finally facing her. Just like there's no Singapore expansion. He's been stealing from both of us. A crash from the study makes us both jump. Emily appears in the doorway, her perfect composure finally cracking. Mark's called the company's legal team. They're pressing charges. The words hang in the air like smoke. Pressing charges. The revenge I wanted now has teeth, and they're sinking deeper than I expected. Fiona. Ryan's voice makes me stiffen. He stands in the kitchen entrance, Mark's looming presence behind him. Tell them you made a mistake. Tell them you misunderstood the transactions. Like you misunderstood your wedding vows. The words come out sharper than I intended. Don't be dramatic. He steps forward, that familiar manipulative smile playing at his lips. We can fix this, together. Remember when we first met, how you said you'd do anything for us? Ryan, Mark warns, but Ryan continues. I can explain everything, the money, Grace, all of it. But I need you to trust me one more time. For a moment, I almost want to believe him. 3 years of marriage, of shared dreams and promises, pull at me like gravity. Then I notice Grace's hand trembling as she grips her purse. See Emily's devastated expression, and something inside me hardens. Trust you. I reach for my laptop, opening files I've spent weeks compiling. Like you trusted me with this? The screen fills with transaction records, text messages, location data, a digital trail of betrayal laid bare. But it's the last file that makes Ryan's smile finally fade. Photographs from his private email, documenting more than just an affair. Corporate espionage? Mark's voice is deadly quiet. You've been selling our patents? Ryan lunges for the laptop, but I'm faster, stepping back. The money wasn't just for Grace, was it? You needed it to cover your tracks with your other buyers. You bitch. He swings at me, but Mark grabs him, pinning him against the counter. Grace lets out a small scream, and Emily sinks into a kitchen chair. I trusted you, I say, my voice steady despite my racing heart. Even when I found the first discrepancies, I wanted to believe there was an explanation. But you didn't just betray me, Ryan. You betrayed everyone in this room. The sound of sirens grows in the distance. Mark must have called them before confronting Ryan. Grace backs away toward the door, her face ashen. I'm sorry, she whispers, though I'm not sure to whom. Ryan struggles against Mark's grip. You have no idea what you've done. When this gets out, it already has. I show him my phone, where Olivia's text glows. Documents received. Legal team processing everything now. The sirens are louder now. Red and blue lights painting our kitchen walls like a garish nightmare. Emily reaches for my hand, surprising me. I should have seen it, she says softly. All those times he said you were imagining things. We all wanted to believe him. I squeeze her hand, watching as police cars pull into our driveway. That's what makes a good liar so dangerous. Ryan's face contorts with rage and fear as uniformed officers approach our door. In this moment, I should feel triumph, satisfaction, the sweet taste of revenge. Instead, I feel something unexpected. Freedom. The weight of secrets and lies lifts from my shoulders like a heavy coat, leaving me lighter, clearer. Sometimes the truth doesn't set you free. Sometimes you have to set it free yourself. And damn the consequences. The police station's fluorescent lights cast harsh shadows across Mark's face as he slides a manila envelope across the interview room table. There's more, he says, his voice tight. The patents weren't just being sold. They were being weaponized. I open the envelope with trembling fingers, spreading out documents that make my stomach turn. Lines of code I recognize. My code, from projects I'd worked on years ago, twisted and repurposed into something malicious. Ryan didn't just steal from the company, Mark continues. He sold your old security protocols to competitors. They're using them to build backdoors into financial systems. The room suddenly feels too small, too bright. My protocols were defensive. They were meant to protect. I know. Mark rubs his temples. That's why we need your help. You're the only one who understands how these systems work. A detective enters, carrying coffee I didn't ask for. Mrs. Carter, we'll need you to testify about the original code architecture. No. The word comes out before I can stop it. I can't be involved. The evidence you have is enough. It's not. Mark leans forward. Without your testimony, Ryan's lawyers will claim the code modifications were authorized. He's already spinning a story about you hacking company servers for revenge. My coffee cup trembles, dark liquid sloshing over the rim. Of course, Ryan would try to turn this around, make me the villain. Even now, he's playing chess while I'm playing catch-up. My phone buzzes. Olivia, Emily's at my house. She found something in Ryan's old files. Come quick. I need time to think, I tell Mark, standing up. The detective starts to protest, but Mark waves him off. 24 hours, Mark says. That's all we can give you. The drive to Olivia's house feels surreal. Streetlights blurring past like stars. Emily meets me at the door, clutching a leather portfolio I recognize from Ryan's study. I was cleaning, she says, hands shaking as she opens it. I thought if I kept things normal. Inside are more documents, bank statements, offshore accounts, and emails dating back 5 years. Before our marriage, before everything. He planned this, Emily whispers. He chose you because of your expertise, because you could give him access to… Stop. The word comes out sharp enough to make both Emily and Olivia flinch. I scan the emails, each one a knife twisting deeper. Ryan discussing my capabilities with unknown contacts, evaluating my potential usefulness, planning how to convince me to leave my job. Fiona, Olivia starts, but I'm already moving, grabbing my keys. Where are you going? Emily calls after me. To finish this, the drive to the detention center, where they're holding Ryan, takes 20 minutes. I spend each one remembering every lie, every manipulation, every moment I doubted myself because he told me I was being paranoid. He's waiting in the visitation room, orange jumpsuit stark against his pale skin. The smile he gives me is the same one he used when telling me I was imagining things. I knew you'd come, he says. You always were predictable. Like how you predicted I'd quit my job to support your career. I lay Emily's portfolio on the table between us. Or how you predicted I'd be too broken to notice what you were doing with my old code. The smile falters, just slightly. Everything I did was for us. No. I lean forward, dropping my voice. Everything you did was because you underestimated me. You thought I was just a housewife who wouldn't understand. Be careful, Fiona. His voice hardens. You're not the only one with evidence. One phone call, and certain people will be very interested in your recent activities. You mean like the tracking software? The financial traces? I smile, and for the first time, I see real fear in his eyes. Go ahead, show them. Every line of code is documented, every access point logged. I learned from the best, after all. Standing, I gather the portfolio. I'm testifying tomorrow, not for Mark, not for the company, but for every person you've manipulated and betrayed. And when I'm done, you won't just lose your freedom, you'll lose your last shred of control. You'll regret this, he calls as I reach the door. You have no idea what you're starting. I turn back, meeting his gaze one last time. No, Ryan, I'm not starting anything. I'm finishing what you began. The door closes behind me with a final click, and I step into the evening air, my path suddenly clear. Sometimes revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about reclaiming your own power, one truth at a time. The courtroom feels like a trap closing in. Each tick of the wall, clock another tooth in the mechanism. I sit at the witness stand, my carefully prepared testimony crumbling, as Ryan's lawyer circles like a shark that smells blood. Ms. Carter, isn't it true that you developed the original security protocols while employed at TechCore? Yes, and these protocols were company property, correct? His smile reminds me of Ryan's. Practiced, predatory. The base code was, the modifications. were made by my client under authorized company directives. He slides a document across to the judge. Exhibit C, Mr. Carter's project authorization, signed by the board. Mark shifts in his seat, his face dark. We hadn't known about this document. Another of Ryan's chess moves, played perfectly. Ms. Carter, the lawyer continues, please explain to the court how you obtained the tracking data on my client's movements. My throat tightens. This is the trap, the one Ryan warned me about. I used a modified version of company proprietary software you no longer had legal access to. The judge leans forward. Ms. Carter, did you illegally access company systems to track your husband? The courtroom spins. Everything I'd built, all the evidence I'd gathered, Ryan's lawyer is turning it against me, piece by piece. I catch Emily's eye in the gallery. She looks away. Your Honor, Mark's lawyer interjects. The defendant's activities were instrumental in uncovering corporate espionage. Ryan's lawyer cuts in smoothly. My client was conducting an authorized internal investigation into security breaches. Ms. Carter's unauthorized surveillance actually compromised that investigation. My hands grip the witness stand. The lie is so perfect, so carefully constructed. Ryan isn't just destroying my credibility. He's rewriting history. Furthermore, his lawyer produces another document. We have evidence that Ms. Carter attempted to access offshore accounts using company resources. Those were Ryan's accounts, I protest, but my voice sounds weak even to me. Accounts used in the authorized investigation, which you attempted to compromise. The judge calls a recess, but the damage is done. In the hallway, Mark approaches with his lawyer, their faces grim. He planned this, Mark says, quietly. The board authorization, the investigation cover story. He's been setting this up for months. What about the patent sales, the stolen money? All documented under official company operations. Mark's lawyer shakes his head. He had paperwork for everything. We can't prove it was fraudulent without my testimony. I lean against the wall, feeling the cold marble against my spine, which he just destroyed. Olivia appears, clutching her phone. Fiona, it's worse. Someone leaked your tracking software to the press. They're calling it corporate surveillance, saying you were spying on multiple employees. Ryan, I whisper, of course. He's not just discrediting my testimony. He's making me the villain of the story. Grace passes by with her lawyer, not meeting anyone's eyes. She's cut a deal, I realize. Ryan's offered her immunity in exchange for supporting his version of events. My phone buzzes. An email from the district attorney. They're considering charges against me for corporate espionage and illegal surveillance, the very crimes I was trying to expose. We can fight this, Mark starts, but I shake my head. He wins. The words taste like ash. He took everything I had, my marriage, my career, my reputation, and turned it into a weapon against me. Emily approaches hesitantly, holding a newspaper. The headline makes my stomach lurch. Tech Wife's Revenge. Plot exposes corporate privacy concerns. I'm sorry, she whispers. I never thought he would. None of us did. I push away from the wall, walking toward the courthouse doors. Outside, reporters wait with cameras and microphones, ready to capture my fall from grace. Behind me, I hear Olivia calling my name, but I keep walking. 3 years of marriage, 15 years of career experience, a lifetime of trust and justice. All of it lies shattered on the courthouse floor. Ryan's words from the detention center echo in my head. You have no idea what you're starting. He was right. I thought I was fighting for truth, for justice, for revenge. Instead, I walked right into his perfect trap, becoming the villain in his carefully crafted story. The cameras flash as I push through the courthouse doors. Each burst of light, another nail in the coffin of my old life. Sometimes revenge doesn't just fail, it becomes the very thing that destroys you. The USB drive feels impossibly small in my hand as I stand outside Ryan's office. Through the glass walls, I can see him at his desk, basking in his courtroom victory. The security badge clipped to my blouse, courtesy of Mark's last act before his resignation, Might be my final chance to set things right. Mrs. Carter, Ryan's assistant, blinks in surprise. I didn't think. It's fine, Sarah. Ryan's voice carries that familiar condescending warmth. Let her in. I think my wife and I are overdue for a chat. The door clicks shut behind me. Ryan leans back, adjusting his tie, the blue one I gave him for our second anniversary. Come to concede defeat properly? Instead of answering, I plug the USB drive into his computer. His smile falters as dozens of windows pop up on his screen. What is this? The truth. My voice stays steady as I perch on the edge of his desk. Not the sanitized version you fed the court, the real logs, showing every transaction, every meeting, every lie. He starts to reach for the computer, but I catch his wrist. Touch it, and these files automatically upload to every board member, the SEC, and 3 major tech blogs. You're bluffing. But uncertainty creeps into his voice. The court already ruled. The court ruled on what they could prove. But you taught me well, Ryan. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about winning. It's about having better leverage. His screen fills with more documents. The real board authorizations, showing his forgeries. Grace's original emails, detailing their plan. The actual financial trails he thought he'd hidden. How did you get access? You really should change your passwords more often. Emily Carter 58 isn't exactly cryptographic genius. The color drains from his face as he scrolls through the files. This will destroy everything. The company, the deals, your perfect facade. I stand, moving toward the door. That's the point. Wait. He rises, desperation replacing his usual confidence. We can make a deal, whatever you want, money, position, full confession. Like the deal you made with Grace? The words strike like physical blows. Or the one you made with those tech companies, selling out everything I built? I did it for us. He slams his hand on the desk. Everything I built, every move I made, was for yourself. Emily's voice cuts through the room. She stands in the doorway, holding her own USB drive. I found your original plans, Ryan. From before you even met Fiona. Ryan's face contorts. Mother, you don't understand. I understand perfectly. Emily steps inside, closing the door. I understood when I found your notes about targeting Fiona for her expertise. I understood when I discovered your offshore accounts, the ones you've had since before the marriage. You helped me destroy her credibility. He snarls. You sided with me. I protected you, like I always have. Emily's voice cracks. But I can't protect you from this. His computer chimes. New windows opening, board members responding to emergency messages, security alerts flashing across the screen. What have you done? Ryan whispers. Nothing you haven't already done to yourself. I move toward the door. The board has everything now. The real documents, the genuine trails. Your perfect trap is about to snap shut on you instead. He lunges for his phone, but it's already too late. Through the glass walls, we can see security approaching, followed by stern-faced board members. You'll go down with me, he threatens. Everything you did was documented and authorized. I hold up another drive. Mark signed off on my internal investigation before he resigned. Everything I did was legal, unlike your corporate espionage. The door opens. Board members file in, their faces grim. Ryan straightens his tie one last time, trying to summon his old confidence, but it crumbles under the weight of truth. Sometimes, I say quietly, the best revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about letting them destroy themselves. As security escorts Ryan out, Emily touches my arm. I'm sorry I didn't see it sooner. We see what we want to see. I watch Ryan disappear down the hallway, his shoulders finally slumped in defeat. Until we can't anymore. The board chairman approaches with a thick envelope. Mrs. Carter, we'd like to discuss your future with the company. I take the envelope, feeling its weight, not just paper, but possibility. Sometimes revenge doesn't end in destruction. Sometimes it ends in resurrection. The corner office still smells of fresh paint and new beginnings. My laptop screen glows with lines of code. Not weapons or traps this time, but shields. Protection. The irony doesn't escape me that I'm rebuilding the very security systems Ryan tried to destroy. A knock at the door interrupts my coding flow. Olivia stands there, holding a newspaper. Thought you might want to see this. The headline reads, Tech Executive Pleads Guilty to Corporate Espionage. Below it, a smaller headline, Former Employee Appointed Head of Security Division. Strange, Olivia says, perching on my desk. They didn't mention you were his wife. Ex-wife. I close the newspaper. And that's exactly how I want it. My phone buzzes. A text from Emily. Signed the house over today. It's yours now. I type back a quick thank you, remembering our last conversation in the kitchen, where everything started. She'd said something that stuck with me. Sometimes the strongest walls aren't the ones we build around ourselves, but the ones we tear down. The elevator chimes, and Grace steps out, clutching a cardboard box. Her eyes meet mine through the glass walls. For a moment, we just look at each other, two women who trusted the same lie. She sets the box by the reception desk and leaves without a word. Inside, I know I'll find the evidence she kept as insurance against Ryan, now surrendered as her final act of penance. The board meeting starts in 10, Olivia reminds me. Ready to present the new security protocols? I stand, smoothing my blazer. Almost. Just need to finish this last sequence. My fingers fly over the keyboard, adding one final layer to the system. Not just protection against external threats, but internal ones too. A safeguard against the kind of manipulation and betrayal that Ryan specialized in. You know, Olivia says quietly, when you first found those withdrawals, I thought you were going to destroy him. I did too. I save the code and close my laptop. But revenge isn't always about destruction. Sometimes it's about reconstruction. The conference room fills with board members, their faces expectant. As I set up my presentation, I catch a glimpse of my reflection in the window. No longer the housewife who wouldn't understand, but not quite the same engineer I was before either. Something new, forged in the fire of betrayal and tempered by choice. My phone buzzes one last time. An unknown number. You were right. About everything. R. I delete the message without responding. Some bridges aren't meant to be rebuilt. Mrs. Carter, the board chairman gestures for me to begin. Show us what you've created. I stand before them, my presentation ready, but instead of launching into technical specifications, I start with a simple truth. Security isn't just about keeping threats out. It's about recognizing them before they become part of your foundation. The board members lean forward, interested. Through the glass walls, I can see Olivia giving me a thumbs up, while Emily waves from the reception area, dropping off lunch like she still does sometimes. Not out of obligation now, but choice. My new security system fills the screen behind me. Complex, elegant, and unlike anything Ryan could have twisted or sold. Because this time, it's built not just with code, but with understanding. Understanding of how trust can be weaponized, how love can blind, and how strength sometimes means letting go of the very revenge you thought you needed. The system has one unique feature, I explain, pulling up the final screen. It learns from every attempt to breach it, growing stronger not by building higher walls, but by understanding why people try to climb them in the first place. As I launch into the technical details, I realize that's exactly what I've done too. Grown stronger not by destroying Ryan, but by understanding how he almost destroyed me. The revenge I thought I wanted has transformed into something else entirely. Not an ending, but a beginning. The code on the screen pulses with possibility. Each line a promise of protection. Each function a lesson learned. Sometimes the best revenge isn't about getting even. Sometimes it's about getting better. And sometimes, just sometimes, it's about building something so strong that the past becomes nothing more than a shadow against its walls.